Alright, so for my first presentation, I did calculus derivatives, and I decided to use Prezi. So with Prezi, I just simply had to pick out a template, and then once I picked out the template, all I had to do was change a few words, delete a couple of images, and then add my own. So for my presentation, basically. So for the overview, I didn't really like this part of it, but I put it there anyways. I simply just wanted to go into the three other subtitles that I had. So it's basically just what my overview is saying, and when it goes to the main topic. So I just explained I'm going to go through the definition of a derivative, the rules of derivatives, and then on to solving derivatives. So from here, we're going to go to derivative definition, and I've included the definition. I've included two definitions. One is specifically about, the word definition for derivative, which is basically just the slope of a line, and then I have it defined mathematically right here. And we're going to go to our rules of derivatives. So I decided to cover 6 of the rules. These are not all of the rules, because I did not want to go into the trig rules quite yet. So these are the sum and difference rules. I basically stated that these two are sort of the same thing, except the difference rule does have a negative sign. So I would just point out to my students that they should pay attention to that. The next rule I did was our product and quotient rule. These two are interchangeable at times. Most people would prefer to do the product rule rather than the quotient rule. And I've given both of the rules stated here in a picture. And then next is our reciprocal and chain rule. The reciprocal rule isn't that complicated. It's almost like our quotient rule. Well, it's exactly like our quotient rule, but it's just like an easier way to put it. And then our chain rule here, we're going to use chain rule for a majority of the problems that we do later on in calculus. So I wanted to point that out, that there are two different ways to write it, but they both get the same answer. And that is all I have for, oh wait, no, I do have solving derivatives. So for solving a derivative, I have how to use the rules and then some practice problems. So for how to use the rules, I've incorporated 2 YouTube videos that I got, but that I found very helpful. The first one's like 4 or 5 minutes, and then the second one is like 7 to 8, basically going over how to use the rules that are applied here. I'm not going to let it play, but just to show that they are working. And then I added some practice problems. And then I included a link to some more problems. I noticed that these problems did not have answers, so I included a link to where you could go and get more problems from, and then they'll have the solutions there.